Hey, my name is Bitcoin Rice. This is the channel where we talk about Bitcoin and other things surrounding the cryptocurrency space. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and please hit that notification bell because, as I've said before, I'm random as hell. Usually do drops when there's things going on in space I really want you guys to know about. And boy, there's some things going on in the space. So I'm pretty sure you guys noticed Bitcoin dropped to about, 43K at the time of making this video. And the way things are going, it could drop lower. There's a possibility. Or if we could see a crazy bounce off of this sell-off, this crash, whatever you want to call it. So let's get into what's happening. People are calling me, texting me, asking. They were blowing me up last night. What the hell's going on? Why is crypto dropping? Why is Bitcoin dropping? It was just up at 48K. Okay. A lot of it has to do with the Fed is doing, the Federal Reserve. So in a recent meeting in March, some notes came out and about what they were planning to do to shrink their balance sheet. So this was kind of crazy, guys. So as you know, during the pandemic, like the stock market was doing great. There was like really short times of like crashes or sell-offs or corrections. And that's because we've discussed this. That's because the Fed was inflating the market, okay, with their money. Look at the trillions of dollars that they pumped into the market to uphold the market. It was BS because they were literally just printing money, and that's one of the reasons why we have inflation running rampant right now, because they pump more money into the market than they have since like World War II, which is insane. World War II was like the last time since they pumped this much money. So that lets you know they pushed the button and the money went burr during this pandemic. So, you know, with the stimulus checks and all these other different types of aid. Okay, so I said this before, guys. They've been kicking this can down the road. It was just a matter of time before they were going to have to pay what they owe. Like, no pun intended. Okay, so the Fed, it came out basically in this Fed meeting that they were going to actually spike interest rates a little higher than anticipated. So basically, guys, what's happening is inflation is getting so crazy that they're starting to take a more aggressive approach to get a stranglehold on this inflation, man, because there's all kinds of predictions from analysts talking about recession, like I was just saying in my previous video. And I'm starting to see why. The writing's on the wall, guys. Okay, so the Fed purchased trillions, you hear that word, trillions of dollars in assets during those 2 years, during 19, what was going on during the pandemic. Trillions of dollars of assets, guys. So I think they have, like, this is going to sound crazy, like $9 trillion worth of assets on their balance sheet. And now they're trying to trim the fat. Now they're trying to shrink that balance sheet. But they can't do it in a way that it just topples the economy. So they can't just flood, sell off $9 trillion worth of assets and securities. And most of them are mortgage-backed securities, which is crazy. And if you don't know what that is, just look up mortgage-backed securities or just type in Federal Reserve balance sheet and you'll get more of an understanding. But basically, the stock market, the markets were crashing due to what was happening with 19, right? Because everyone was on lockdown. So nobody was working, nothing was being produced, nothing was being manufactured. So they gave us money while nothing was being produced, manufactured, nothing like that, while we're on lockdown, to keep us afloat. And they did the same thing with the stock markets and other assets. They were buying bonds, all kinds of things. But now that inflation is getting crazy, they're reporting it at like 7.9%, which is BS. It's higher than that because they don't have certain things priced into that. But now they're trying, is because inflation is getting so crazy, they're taking a more aggressive approach, a more hawkish approach to getting, like I said, a stranglehold on this. So it's putting a lot of fear in the markets, okay? There's a lot of people selling off their quote-unquote risky assets. You're starting to hold cash a little bit. Some people are putting it in gold. But what I think is going to happen, and of course this is not financial advice, I think there's going to be a crazy accumulation period going on right now. MicroStrategy, they just borrowed and bought another insane amount of Bitcoin twice. Terra, Do Kwon from Terra, like I told you guys in my previous video, where they're planning on buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin, and they're buying hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin a day. They're still buying an insane amount of Bitcoin. I saw they made a large purchase before this news came out about the Fed meeting, but I'm pretty sure they're probably going to buy more, guys. Like, don't be surprised if you see like news come out about MicroStrategy or some other people who were, like I said, on the fence about making a purchase, because anything under 50K is golden right now. Like, because everybody who's looking at Bitcoin, especially these corporations and these companies, they are long-term investors. They're whales. So no one's gonna be, they're not looking at this in the short term. Okay, so if anything, don't panic. Okay, this is a buying opportunity. There's a lot of fear in the markets, but you don't want to panic. Okay, you want to buy low, sell high. What we said before, if there's blood in the streets, that's when you want to buy. These are the buying opportunities. This is when the money is made. You just want to, you don't want to be emotional. You want to be strategic and smart about your plays when it comes to these dips. Okay, so I suggest, this is just my strategy. I always dollar cost average in, and to the bottom and to the top. So as it's selling off, I'm dollar cost averaging on the way down, and then as it rises, I'm dollar cost averaging on the way up. So you get a little bit of the good, you get a little bit of the bad, some in the middle, because even if you've been in this market forever, nobody can time the bottom, nobody can time the top. What's the saying? It's better to spend time in the market than to try to time the market. So just stay calm, don't panic. If you have a coin, a token, a project, NFT, whatever you're into as far as investing, now is probably the time to buy it, because assets are going to be at a discount. Okay, so there's a lot of people salivating, probably a lot of people that were waiting for this moment, waiting for Bitcoin to drop a bit. So, and anything could change, man. We could see a crazy rebound, because like I said, no one has said that they've come out and stopped accumulating Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the greatest hedge against inflation that we've seen ever in history. So the money could start to pour their money into Bitcoin out of fear of all this, because clearly the Fed's screwing up the money. They're winging it as far as their approach to fixing their mess. So it's just going to be interesting to see how this goes going forward. I'll keep you guys tuned in. Stay safe out there. Hit you up later.